Mickey's Halloween party is one of my favorite times of the year. The costumes, the parade, the candy, the opportunity to see the park in virtual peace. Yeah, sign me up, please. It's a ton of fun, and I personally believe that it's worth the price, especially for those guests who don't already have an annual pass. But this may be coming to an end, or at least changing very drastically over the next 2 years. Hello everybody, welcome back to Fresh Baked. As always, before we begin, I'd like to ask everybody to take a second and like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much, guys. So Mice Chat is reporting that Disneyland is working on a plan to move the Halloween festivities from Disneyland over to DCA over the next 2 years in order to prepare for the opening of Star Wars Land in 2019. With the idea being that they're trying to give guests fewer reasons to go to Disneyland and more reasons to go to DCA. They're reporting that the transition will begin this fall with holiday overlays for Guardians of the Galaxy and Radiator Springs Racers. Rumor is that Mission Breakout will go dark, much like Tower of Terror did at the end of its run, and that Radiator Springs Racers will include costumes for their characters inside the ride. Note, only the ride, Radiator Springs Racers, is being referenced for this holiday overlay. Cars Land as a whole will be unchanged. Having said that, I feel like the entire land, heck, the entire park should get a holiday overlay, more seasonal decorations than it ever has if you want to really convince us that Halloween is moving to DCA. Mice Chat is also reporting that as of 2018, Disney will get the Halloween parade as well as a Halloween version of World of Color. As this is just a rumor, it's difficult to say if these are permanent changes for DCA or if the Halloween will return to Disneyland once Star Wars Land opens. My suspicions, though, are that long-term, Halloween would return to Disneyland, but it could be 5 or 10 years before that happens. One thing the article did not mention, and perhaps it's because Disney hasn't decided yet, is whether or not the Nightmare overlay would remain for Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. On the one hand, it would be kind of out of place for the Nightmare overlay to remain in Disneyland, as it would be really the only piece of legitimate Halloween theming in the park. Not to mention, I'm guessing about half of the Disneyland fan base would be thumbs up on the removal of the Nightmare overlay. But on the other hand, the Nightmare overlay is kind of awesome, and it would be tough to see it just go away. A possible compromise might be to keep the holiday overlay, but have it just for the Christmas season as opposed to both Halloween and Christmas. After all, it is more of a Christmas movie than it is a Halloween movie, if you ask me. And most would agree, even those who are fans of the overlay, that it's probably here for just a little bit too long. So shortening its stay to just the Christmas season might be the optimal decision. Back at DCA, there's even more potential for DCA to be a really great Halloween location if management takes the bold move of using those 2 empty or virtually empty studio buildings in the Hollywood backlot and using those for mazes. I'd actually be interested in hearing what you guys think a good Disneyland maze might be. Obviously, they can't be too scary. You can't have any kind of Walking Dead type situation going on, but they could do a convincing maze. And it sounds like there's a lot more changes on the way for DCA. You might recall not long ago that it was revealed that the Paint the Night parade was packed up and made ready for shipment. Everyone wanted to know where, and the front runner appeared to be Walt Disney World, but that didn't make a lot of sense because we already knew that Disneyland had more plans for Paint the Night in Disneyland. The other suggestion was DCA, but this idea was also quickly dismissed because many of the Paint the Night floats couldn't negotiate the cables that ran the length of Buena Vista Street and Hollywoodland. But did you know that there were initial plans to have those wires retractable for just such an occasion? Per the Mice Chat article, it sounds like they're making plans to get this done in preparation for bringing over Paint the Night as well as the Halloween parade and an upgraded parade to replace the Good As Gone Pixar Play parade. Now you might be asking, why don't they just take the wires down? They don't actually perform a function. They don't do anything. They're just for show. But that's actually the point. They're good show. It wouldn't look right without them. You can't sell us on 1920s Hollywood and a red car trolley without those cables. And as long as we're changing the red car trolley, this might be a good opportunity to reroute the track so that it doesn't dead end at Mission Breakout. Perhaps you can have it make a left into the back lot or whatever it is that they build there when they bulldoze that monstrosity. And then finally, with respect to moving Paint the Night to DCA, one more logical reason to make this move is just one of crowds. That's right, Fantasmic is coming back soon, and that means 2 shows a night. And it doesn't take much reflection to remember just how bonkers crowds got around the Hub and Frontierland and Adventureland and Fantasyland when all these shows run together. 2 shows of Fantasmic, a parade, and a fireworks show. There's just too much nighttime awesome at Disneyland. So everything about this actually makes a lot of sense. My only remaining thought would be I hope that they extend DCA's hours to midnight to go along with Disneyland so that to make room for all of this new stuff. All this in preparation for Star Wars Land coming in 2019, which brings to mind the last point that I wanted to reference in the MiceChat article, and that is the idea, the suggestion that Disneyland is thinking about making the opening of Star Wars Land an upcharged event. It's a logical assumption to make given that the Mission Breakout upcharge event, the one that was done in lieu of a soft opening or a cast member preview, was considered by most to be massively overpriced and still quickly sold out and considered a success. So yes, it seems at least possible that Star Wars Land is subject to this kind of treatment. The only question remains, how long would this be? Is it a single-day event, a week's worth of events, a month, or more importantly, how much? That's the question that really scares me. Let's take a quick look at Disney's recent history. We got $35 for preferred parking that saves guests what amounts to about 300 yards of walking. The Skyline Lounge that went for $45 and did not include admission to the park. And then the aforementioned Mission Breakout opening that went for $150. Star Wars Land? I've got a bad feeling about this. So I want to hear from you guys. Does this make you nervous at all? Or maybe you're grateful that these upcharged events, these sneak peeks will siphon off some of the early pressure from the Star Wars Land openings. I want to hear also your thoughts on the rumored move of Halloween from Disneyland to DCA, and I want to hear your ideas for maybe some possible mazes or other Halloween overlays that they can include at DCA. Let us know in the comments below, and until next time, Fresh Baked!